Hello and welcome to VenturaRockSpot. I'm your host, music journalist, and artistic mindset coach, Drea Joe. The Ventura Rock Spot is a monthly program featuring original musicians from or traveling through Ventura County, California. You can find out more about our program and see past episodes on our website at VenturaRockSpot.com, where you can also get details on how to become a featured artist yourself. For more information on the latest on what's happening in the music scene in and around Ventura, including gig schedules and local venues, check out VenturaRocks.com. In this episode, we are chatting with local singer-songwriter Gaby Montiel. Welcome, Gaby.
Hi.
Great to have you with us today. I'm really excited to hear what you've been up to. So, you're pretty new to the music scene. I think that's fair to say, relatively speaking. Can you tell me a little bit about where and how this all started for you?
My music journey definitely started, it definitely sparked in the pandemic. I had gotten a guitar in the year before the pandemic, just right before it hit in December for Christmas. And I started experimenting, and once we kind of shut down and we went into quarantine, I was like, I have all this time alone. So I used that time to kind of like self-teach and experiment. And I looked on like YouTube videos, and I just kind of played around for the first couple of months with the guitar. And sometimes I would like lay over some lyrics just to play with it. And then I started getting lessons. And that really just sparked everything. And I started writing like songs that really connected with me.
Awesome. So really just storytelling and talking about your day, or was there more to it? Did you always kind of journal and write, or?
I've always kind of had this passion for writing stories, especially like creatively writing. And sometimes I would write a song about that other part to me. But most of my songs come from, they're kind of like story-based. Like I'll write two songs that relate to each other and kind of like flow from two perspectives. Or I'll write a song that just has like a journey. And sometimes I'll just write a song about an emotion and how that feels.
Awesome. That's pretty deep stuff. That's great. That's great. So you've always been a writer. I heard somewhere you started at 8. Is that true? Is that how early you started storytelling and writing?
Yeah, that's definitely where I had my launching point. I always had like this imagination, and I would like imaginary play like on the couch, and I would like be like 6 different characters at once, and I would like I would see everything happening in my head. And it was at 8 that I decided to actually write out these scenarios by like for real. And I fell in love with Google Docs, and I just started writing out all my ideas, and eventually with practice they started getting better and better. So
that's great. That's amazing that you would have the insight to do that. That's incredible. So I mean, you've always had this love of music or sort of a draw to it, but is anyone in your family musical, or, do they just bring music appreciation, or how did that come about for you?
Well, sorry. My mom and I, we always had this connection to music together, and we'll always kind of like sing our favorite songs together, like dance. But where I really got like that musical brain connection, we've been trying to figure it out for like a really long time, because we're like, where did I get it from? And actually paid a visit to my great aunt, and we figured out that she was the one, because she's always been like singing, and she's always wanted to pursue like this musical career, which she didn't, but I feel like her musical gene got passed down to me.
So let's take a minute here. We're going to go look at Reality from Gaby Montiel.
Imagine running away from
this town of gray from the people with the judgy face and the children's crying days from the truth you said to my face. Stop, don't say it anymore. It's not the reality, that's just the reality. Don't say you can't see, it's just a fantasy. Truth be told, I'm not golden. You could see that, so you told me. Don't dream big, 'cause you won't make it. The world's a big dose of pain, and it's not the reality, that's just the reality. Don't say you can't see, it's just a fantasy. But I can see we can be strong and overcome the reality. And honestly, you're living in a fantasy, giving up easily. It's not the reality. You just want an excuse to throw out all that's close to you. Don't deny it's true. It's just the reality.
Thank you. Yay. Thanks, Gaby.
Can you tell me a little bit about what that song was about for you, or the inspiration behind it?
So, Reality was a very interesting song. When I first wrote it, I actually took it from a relationship from a book I was reading.
Oh, wow.
And the two characters, the way they interacted, I was like, I want to say something about it because it was very unique, but like commonly unique, if that makes sense. Like, it's a relationship that a lot of people I think have, but only the two characters realize that they had it. And it's like this relationship where one of them is kind of just putting down this other's, like being a pessimist about how this the girl wanted to escape, and she believed that she could accomplish her goal, but the boy was just like, no, like we can't do that. We're in a world where we can never do that. It's just not real. And he realized what he was doing. And I wanted to write a song about that.
As far as the artistic part of it, and you know, the writing that you do and the creativity, where do you think that inspiration comes from for you?
Inspiration comes from many different places. I have a writing mentor, and her name is Teresa Knowles, and she always has this quote, and she says, "Go where inspiration flows." And I feel like that flow just comes from everywhere around me.
You know, have you had any guidance or mentorship in any way?
Yes, I've had an amazing music mentor, Victor Lawrence.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
and he's an amazing celloist, and he's been in many movie scores, and he's written a lot of them as well. And he's been kind of guiding me through this process. And I also have a guitar teacher, Rogerio, and he is incredible with helping me flourish in the guitar as well.
Very cool. So how did you meet them? How did you come about meeting Victor and Rogerio? Was that through school, or did someone told you to go check them out, or?
Victor, how I met Victor was through a gay program and at school, and they had this webinar with a celloist, and I was like, that sounds cool, I'll attend the meeting. And I attended, and he was there talking about what he did and everything, and I was like, this is kind of like the first webinar that I went to that kind of had this musician, and I was like, why not just try and reach out and see what happens? So me and my mom worked, and I wrote an email, and he responded. And from there, we just started becoming more and more in touch, and we just started working together. And he's been amazing with helping me write songs. And he's really like planted that seed of songwriting.
That's fantastic. That's so, so important. So now did Victor connect you with Rogerio, or were you already working with your guitar teacher?
Victor did connect me with Rogerio. He knew of Rogerio's lessons, and they've never actually met, but they know each other through like the industry. And so he connected me to him, and then we started having Skype meetings.
You sort of have this really cool team, and I guess the third leg of the tripod, the trifecta, is your producer, Jason. Now, how did you come to meet him? Was that also through Victor, or was that a process of trial and error?
That was also through Victor.
Awesome.
Victor introduced me to so many different people, and Jason was definitely one of those people that really helped me a lot and produced my first song with me, Reality.
Excellent. So how did you know when you were first connected with him, what was it about Jason that made him a good fit?
What made everyone kind of a good fit, including Jason and Victor and Rogerio, was that they were all willing to go at my pace, because I never really from the beginning, I didn't want to become like famous or have my name like that everyone knew it. I wanted people who saw my music to feel my music and like just have it make some sort of connection with those listeners, even if they're few. And I wanted to put my music out there so those who connect with these like stories or these lyrics can have that chance to connect with them. And these people that I'm working with were willing to go through those steps to do that with me and not try and like make me big or anything. They were willing to listen. Yeah.
So you've been doing quite a few shows in and around Ventura County lately, especially since everything's opened up again. I know you did some shows in Ojai and some other things around town. Can you tell me, were you born and raised here? I know you're out in Thousand Oaks at the moment, but.
I actually moved a lot when I was really, really young that I can't quite remember all the places, but I do remember I like moved probably per year. So I was born here, but I don't remember anything. So I think we moved to Orange County. Well, actually, we moved to Camarillo for a couple years. And I do remember that being like my childhood home, even though there was like 3 houses over there. So we moved to Camarillo, and then we moved to Orange County, where I would say made up most of my life so far. It made up like grades 2nd through like 4th and a little bit of 5th. So, and then I moved here for 5th grade, and this is where I've started.
Got it. But it sounds like all of the moving around and sort of the adaptation that you needed to get on board with maybe helped your writing as well. You got to see it.
All those moving around jostled the thoughts.
Right. But now you're getting this great outlet to put on the paper. So that's awesome. Speaking of hometowns, let's talk about your acoustic recording. I know you have one called My Town. Can you tell me a little bit about that, or where did that come from? What inspired you, especially given that you've moved around so much? What's My Town about?
So I mentioned before about how I love to write creatively and how I made these stories. And once I started my music journey, it kind of sparked another side of the brain, or maybe the same side of the brain because it's all like creative, but it sparked another part of me, which was writing. And I was like, I'm starting to get this inspiration. So I started writing more and more projects, and there were all these things that I was working on. And I realized that I could write a song about all these worlds that I was making. Because I feel like writers, we don't just like write words on a page. We like create entire, like, just these lands or worlds that other people can go into.
Right.
And I was like, that's a pretty powerful thing to feel as a writer personally. There are definitely lots of struggles, but one of the amazing things and why I love writing is it just feels like you're sharing these worlds that you've created, and it's kind of like a proud moment for you. And I called my new song My Town, because it's like my own world, my own town. This is mine. And I'm willing to share it with you guys.
Very cool. Well, let's check it out. Let's take a look. This is My Town from Gaby Montiel.
Sunshine daisies, raindrops on windows, the sound of the click and clack of the keyboard. She laughs this way, he never smiles, joy and sadness all at my control. And this is the life I choose, this reality. This is the life of mine as my fingers float over the keys. I have all the power, never back down. This is my story, this is my town. Loud silence, cruel kindness, why not add in some oxymorons? Light flashes through her, now she's sad. He never liked her in the first place. Too bad. And this is the life I choose, this reality. This is the life of mine as my fingers float over the keys. I have all the power, never backing down. This is my story, this is my town. Similes fly out with the metaphors. Idioms once or twice, don't doubt me anymore. This is my town, this is my town. This is my story, my tale, this is my
Your first record coming out soon. Do you plan, once that's finished up, to do any touring?
I think that I want to start off with like a small tour, maybe around like this area. I think that would be something that I would really enjoy, and I would definitely have a lot of fun. And then I could like start expanding and writing new songs, so I could. Yeah, that's definitely something I could look forward to.
What are you most excited about moving forward?
I have a lot of things that I'm excited about. I'm working on some different projects right now in terms of music, and I have an album that I'm shaping and working with, which I'm really excited for that.
So that'll
But
be later this year, right?
yes, I plan it.
Cool. Okay.
But in a long-term goal that I'm excited about, because I really think that I can make it there, is having music and writing just work in a perfect harmony. And I'm just like, I finished college and I have like this house that I envisioned so perfectly, and I'm sitting on my desk and I'm either playing the guitar like in the couch over there in the living room, or I'm writing with like, or I'm dancing in the kitchen to music, and it's just everything is just this creative process that I enjoy, is part of my life and it's part of my living. And I just feel like that lifestyle I look forward to in the future, because I know I can make it there.
It's amazing. And I know I keep throwing out these words, amazing, fabulous, and good job, and I'm really not blowing steam. It's just, it's so unusual for anybody, but especially for someone of your age, to be so clear about making choices around lifestyle as opposed to just a job, and choosing what really lights you up. And I think that's where the difference comes from, for sure. So you're on Instagram and YouTube, right?
Yes.
So where can people check you out?
Well, on Instagram and YouTube, actually, I'm under both Gaby Montiel Music.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's just simple. On Instagram, you just type that in, nothing special, and there should be my little picture. And then on YouTube, the same thing. It's probably the first link, or may have to scroll down a little. But yeah, so under both, it's the same name. And then I have a couple fun videos on both of those.
Excellent. So on Instagram and YouTube, Gaby Montiel Music, GABYMONTIEL. For any young people, any viewers that are tuning in and kind of watching your career and seeing you kind of burst out of nowhere, do you have any advice or thoughts that you'd want to share with them? Certainly patience, you just said, and that's amazing, amazing advice. But anything else that's maybe quirky that you've learned along the way?
Quirky. I guess a word that kind of sticks to me, obviously, is grit. You need to definitely have a lot of grit, but also it's hard work, but it's fun. You should be having fun. This should be something that you enjoy,
Right.
not something that you are forcing yourself or someone else is forcing you to do. It should be something that really resonates with you and your heart and what you want to do. And I think that's one of the most important things, because if it's not, then it's not going to come from that authentic place that really makes most music and most art like incredible to listen to or look at. It's just, it needs to come from a place that you personally have been or are, or it just resonates with you.
Fabulous. Absolutely. No, it's great insight. Thank you for that. I wanted to leave viewers today with your new song coming off the upcoming record. So you had a video that you just released, or just about to release, called Blame. Can you tell us a little bit about this song?
Yeah, so Blame is definitely a more stronger emotional song. Like, there's a lot of strong emotions, and I didn't write it purposely to confuse people, but just kind of show that relationships are challenging and conflicting and strange, and how the mind works throughout these connections that you make with people. And I was going to like continue this story throughout the entire album, actually, but then I realized that these emotions can't just come out of empathy, even though most of my songs can come from there. This emotion needs to come from somewhere personal, or at least some experience. So I kind of reached into just kind of past experiences where I felt like mad or hurt, and I just kind of brought them up, and I made 6 enters down onto my notes, and then I just started over with the song, and I pulled some few lyrics that I really liked, and I rewrote it so that it could still kind of have that main idea about this continuation of the story, but it was more powerful because it came from truly me and what I went, things that I experienced or went through.
Right. And both sides of it, not just the palatable, easy version. You went hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great to show all the sides of it. Cool. We'll leave you today with Gaby's new lead single off her upcoming album called Blame. Thanks, Gaby.
Thank you.
Pretending that you care to make me believe I wanted to be there. Don't blame me. How could you blame me? You were the one who ruined it all. Do you blame me? Or are you blind? Blind to all the damage caused by your narrow mind, pretending that I lied when I told you we